I'm Chuck Ball, co-founder of CharityCheckin. You can think of us as Amazon Smile meets Facebook Check-in. We all have a personal cause that we support. Typically, whether it's finding a cure, solving for hunger, supporting your local schools. Our goal is simple, and that is to help you support those causes on a daily basis by creating the world's largest giving engine. We are specifically a for-profit micro-donation platform that uses smartphone check-ins and Facebook newsfeed posts to the benefit of charities and brands. We're Amazon Smile for brick and mortar companies, where, by the way, still 92% of all purchases are made. We realized that we had to create value for three key stakeholders, the first being us, the consumer. We've all been in line and been asked by a retailer to donate to the charity of their choice, which may or may not mean anything to us. We don't typically know if and how much of that money ever gets to the cause. We have research that shows moms and millennials, which are our two key targets, would spend up to 4 times as much in a store if they were allowed to choose their own cause versus having to pick one from a curated list, no matter how big that list is. Charities typically spend, on average, more than $1 to raise $1 for event days, which means they've got to really find creative ways to extend the effectiveness of their marketing campaigns. And Facebook has virtually excluded brands from accessing their fans on their news feeds. Our solution is simple, easy to use. It's a smartphone app. You search and choose the charity of your choice, check in at the location. We present a sponsor brand advertisement. You can put in a small personal message, and it all gets posted to your news feed in Facebook. So simple solution, huge impact for all three stakeholders. Consumers can now use their purchasing power to support brands that support their causes rather than the other way around. Brands they re-access the Facebook news feed, by the way, with tax-deductible ad dollars. And charities get to activate their year-round their donations and engagement for their donors. We've all seen the impact of social media on the art of giving through the Ice Bucket Challenge with ALS. We were a Mass Challenge finalist earlier this year, and we did a soft launch in Spokane, Washington with some local partners. We have a huge addressable marketplace. Our initial target is the $20 billion in corporate giving with a follow-on product development target of $230 billion in individual giving. Our revenue model is simple. It's a simple fee off the top, which is in line with what charities would expect. We have a large, accessible, built-in ad marketplace in the newsfeed for brands, and we have a very low customer acquisition cost. We mentioned Amazon Smile as a competition. Our founding team's been together for over 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You were talking really quickly at the end there.
Yes.
So was this soft launch a kind of user test? And if so, can you talk about what you learned?
Yeah, it was really to make sure that the platform didn't break, and it didn't break. And we had about over 500 installs of the application just from doing some grassroots marketing on location for the Susie Komen Race for the Cure.
And after the installs,
Yep.
Was there any follow-through?
Sure. They continue to, on average, 2.7 posts per month from users that installed it on race day, which was back in May. That continues, and they'll check in at restaurants or retailers in Spokane.
I think altruism only guides so much of charitable giving. How does your app track tax donations?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How does your app track donations for tax purposes?
It's all in the back end. We have a back end system that allows the brand and the charity to have a dashboard, and they can track everything. And then we issue a report quarterly to both the charity and to the brand for tax deductible.
What about the user?
The user actually gets tracked on their homepage, so you know exactly what you're donating, where your last donation was. You'll know where your giving circle is donating, where your friends are donating. You can challenge each other, create challenge circles, and so forth, just like the Ice Bucket Challenge.
And how do you choose charity partners, and do you take transparency into account?
We actually don't choose the charity partners. That's the beauty of it. We use the IRS database and others to have a comprehensive list of charities so that you can literally choose your own charity. We're in conversations with Donors Choose, for instance, which has a great opportunity to get hyper-local in choosing a charity and being able to support local school projects even.
So the charity doesn't have to do anything to be on the list then?
Nothing. It's free to the charities, free to the user. The charity, it's interesting, we're hoping to add a very high profile a charity person to our board of advisors, and she indicates that it's a great strategy that we don't force them to do anything, because they will do it because they're self-interested. They want to increase installs because this absolutely extends their giving period to 365 days. I heard a really interesting quote. Somebody said that a donor is great, a monthly donor is 12 times as great, so we must be 365 times as great as that.
Is there a connection between the sponsoring brands and the check-in locations? Right, so
there can be.
Are they disconnected?
Yeah, there's two that's a great question. Two types of sponsors that we envision. One is the retailer themselves. So for instance, if Starbucks wanted to sponsor any check-in at Starbucks, they would get all the credit in the Facebook news feed. Another type of sponsor would be what we call a super sponsor, where you walk into any location in like small businesses and so forth. Could be Aetna, could be like an image advertising, a car company, and they would get credit on Facebook. It's still advertising, but now it's tax deductible advertising.
Thank you very much.